this video reaches you only at the moment when life has brought you to a point where the truth can no longer remain hidden. If you are watching this video now, it means you have arrived at that silent, inwardly pressing space where something inside refuses to be suppressed any longer. You may not fully understand what is breaking within you, but you can feel that living the same way is no longer possible. This moment is not accidental. It comes to every human at some point in their journey, though many ignore it. Some are too afraid to face it, and others try to suppress it through habit. But a few people, including you, hear this inner tremor as a call, a voice that will no longer remain silent. If you want to understand the truth of your own heart, if you want to learn how to live with clarity, with strength, and with a truth that actually works in today's world, then subscribe to Memorable Stories, because every upcoming video will show you the kind of truth that protects you from being used by others and helps you recognize your real worth. And now, without wasting any more time, let's move straight to our topic. Carl Jung described this experience as a call to the authentic self, a stage where the soul refuses to continue living under the masks created to please others, survive, and fit in. This video is not just information. It is a reflection, a mirror presented to your mind when your questions, discomfort, and unease demand answers. This is the moment when everyday life begins to reveal its hollowness, a mechanical routine built from others' expectations, social roles, and unfulfilled promises. Perhaps you are in a relationship that gradually drains your energy, or trapped in a job that seems supportive, but silently wounds your spirit day after day. Or perhaps the problem lies in the subtle, hidden fears. Fear of disapproval, shame for not being accepted, paths designed for you, but never truly lived by you. Jung warned that the greatest danger of modern life is not chaos, but living a life that is not your own, and not even realizing it. That is why the inner voice never goes silent. When humans ignore it through dreams, restlessness, fatigue, and hidden fears, the voice grows louder. What was once a minor discomfort turns into deep anxiety. What was a tired breath becomes profound collapse. And then, strangely, the universe begins to present the same messages repeatedly, signs you have been avoiding for years. This is not magic. This is your soul seeking the keys to freedom. It is at this stage that people encounter such videos, because when the inner self awakens, the symbols themselves guide the way. According to Jung, the unconscious speaks its own language, often appearing as a symbol, a sentence, or something like this video. This moment is an invitation to face your shadows, to acknowledge your fears, anger, shame, boredom, and incompleteness. These emotions are not weakness. They are evidence that the old structure of your life is breaking, because it no longer supports your inner growth. You are not breaking. You are on the edge of transformation, and this journey cannot be postponed any longer. Most people remain trapped in habits, waking, working, obeying, and then being pushed back into the same cycle. They call it normal. Yet it is only common, not healthy. From childhood, you were taught to stay quiet, fit in, follow rules, keep moving. and not ask questions. But no one ever explained. Right for whom? For you or for them? In his book, The Undiscovered Self, Jung wrote that the greatest danger for the individual in modern society is not madness, but becoming part of the collective, a replaceable piece that functions within a system that values conformity over authenticity. When you feel the pressure and suffocation of ordinary life, it is not a flaw. It is your psyche signaling, this is not you. You have followed all the rules, completed education, got a job, found a partner, posted smiling pictures. Yet you feel empty inside, as if a part of you is standing outside, watching it all. This sense of separation is not an illness, it is awakening. The mask that once kept you alive is now hindering your life. Ordinary life is a refined trap, offering small comforts in exchange for freedom. It gives social approval, a steady paycheck, and family acceptance. But the cost is high. Your true self, your inner voice, your spontaneity. Over time, we forget who we really are. Jung said social adaptation is necessary. But when this adaptation demands that you abandon yourself, it becomes a disease. Millions of people live this way. Emotionally numb, spiritually empty, existentially lost. The system keeps you busy. Netflix, scrolling, likes, fast food. So that you never ask yourself, am I alive or merely existing? This collective illusion creates a false sense of security, but inside that crack of pain remains. You may try to suppress it with entertainment, busyness, or shallow relationships. But no distraction can silence the cry of the soul forever. And when you finally begin to question your reality, the world quickly convinces you that you are the problem, that it's just anxiety, just stress, that all you need is a break. But deep within, you know this isn't simple exhaustion. It is despair. Not because you have failed, but because you are awake enough to see that the structure around you is broken. False normality is a slow psychological suffocation. It is what happens when life is lived through obligations instead of meaning. Jung said that an unlived life is a sickness that can destroy a person from within. So many people slowly die this way, not in a moment, but across years, trapped inside a story they never wrote. Yet there is a way out, and it begins with recognizing the illusion you've been living in. The next step isn't to go back to sleep. It is to realize that this restlessness, this discomfort, this existential unease is not a malfunction. It is the arrival of a transformation. And that is what we'll explore in the next part. You are not breaking down. You are preparing. If this message resonates with you, consider subscribing to the Memorable Stories channel. Thank you. We live in a culture that treats pain as a defect. If you're overwhelmed, something is wrong with you. If you feel sadness, you're told you have a problem. If you don't fit in, the blame is placed on your character. But this interpretation is a dangerous lie. Pain is not failure. Pain is understanding. And for the first time in your life, you might finally be ready to understand it. Jung said the soul stops pretending when the moment of transformation arrives. What you call existential crisis, emotional collapse, inner emptiness, is actually the first spark of awakening. Hopelessness, chronic fatigue, the sense of not belonging. These are not signs of weakness. They are the symbolic language of the psyche telling you that you are ready. Ready to shed the persona you've worn for years, ready to face the shadow you have avoided, ready to become who you truly are, rather than who the world taught you to be. You may think you are falling apart, but the one breaking is not you. It is the character you created to survive. It is the shell that protected you once, but now has become a prison. The pain you feel is not a flaw. It is strength. Because only a mature soul can look directly into its own emptiness. Jung observed that the psyche intentionally generates discomfort to open the path to change. When the ego resists transformation, the unconscious responds with symptoms: anxiety, sleeplessness, numbness, anger, confusion. These symptoms are not obstacles. They are the path. They force you to pause, to question, to look inward. Society will insist that you should return to normal. Take a pill, do a course, read a self-help book, breathe deeply, and keep moving. But don't be fooled. It was this so-called normal that made you sick. You don't need to go back. Deep down, you know it. Your pain is a threshold, a symbolic doorway. If you resist, it becomes chronic. If you listen, it becomes a beginning. It isn't comfortable, beautiful, or fast. But it is real, and more importantly, necessary. Jung said the journey toward the true self begins when you become tired of being half alive. When you realize you cannot survive at the surface of consciousness anymore. When you understand that the hidden parts of you, your suppressed emotions, unhealed wounds, forgotten desires, and denied longings, must finally be integrated. This integration is not a luxury. It is an existential necessity. You are not broken. You are walking through the uncharted territory of your own consciousness. Feeling lost is part of the path. Pain is the psyche attempting to awaken you. And once you begin to listen, something inevitable happens. You start noticing that certain messages, people, symbols, and even this video arrive in your life precisely when you need them most. In the next part, we'll explore what this truly means, why certain things appear in your life at the exact moment when your inner world is collapsing. Have you ever noticed that something reaches you at the perfect time? A book appears in front of you. A conversation happens exactly when you need clarity. Or a video like this shows up when you feel like you're on the edge. This is not coincidence. This is synchronicity. A fundamental idea Jung introduced to explain the meaningful patterns that logic cannot describe, but the soul instantly recognizes as truth. Jung understood that the unconscious is not a container of trauma. It is a living intelligence, a dynamic force constantly trying to guide, balance, and heal the conscious mind. When you reach a breaking point, when your soul begins to wake up to a deeper reality, the unconscious amplifies its symbolic language, using everything around you: dreams, images, emotions, and even algorithms. The outer world eventually begins to mirror the shifts happening within you. And not because anything mystical has occurred, but because life recognizes when your evolution is overdue. when you finally reach that inner readiness, the right delicate stage of individuation, as Jung described. This is where most people retreat, because the leap is frightening. It means losing ground. It means no guarantees, no map, no external instructions. It means abandoning the persona that once helped you, but has now solidified into a prison. It means finally rejecting everything that looks right to the outside world and saying yes to the voice inside. Jung compared this moment to meeting the inner dragon, the archetype of fear, doubt, and resistance that rises precisely when transformation is near. It whispers that the timing is wrong, that you're unprepared, that everything will collapse, that you'll disappoint others, that you will regret it. It shows you every possible failure because the ego fears death. But the truth is this: the fear you feel is evidence that you are moving in the right direction. Jung wrote that the first encounter with the self is the encounter with the shadow, the abyss, the underworld, the inner hell none of us escape. It means that before finding liberation, you must face everything you've avoided for years. The fear of rejection, the fear of losing, the fear of failing. You must grieve everything that must die so something new can be born. It hurts, it paralyzes, but it also frees you. Because once you cross, stumbling, crying, doubting, you discover what lives on the other side of fear. A real life. Not survival, not adaptation, not pretending, but presence, truth, meaning. You don't need to be 100% ready. No one ever is. You only need to be tired. Tired of the pretending, tired of the lies. Brave enough to say, I don't know what comes next, but I know I can't stay here. This is the dividing line between those who remain frozen and those rare few who dare to wake up. If you've come this far, it's because you already feel the pull toward the leap. So what is stopping you? That is what we explore next. Why no one is coming to save you, and why the ultimate responsibility for your life rests only with you. It is one of the hardest truths, and one of the most liberating. No one is coming. Not a person, not a guru, not a book, not a therapist, not a video. No external force will pull you out of the pit you're in. There is no savior who will rebuild your life for you, because the only one who can is you. You were trained to wait for approval, for someone to see your pain, for your partner to change, for your boss to appreciate you, for your family to understand, for the system to work, for the perfect timing to arrive, for courage to suddenly appear. But it's an illusion. The archetype of the external savior is the collective unconscious clinging to childhood. It is the wounded child still waiting to be rescued. But you are no longer that child. You are an adult now. And adults, painful as it is, must claim responsibility for their own journey. Jung emphasized that individuation, the process of becoming who you truly are, cannot be lived through another person. No one can walk this path for you, because the path is inner, unique, and hand-carved by each step you take. Ultimate responsibility does not mean you caused everything that happened to you. It means you are now responsible for not remaining where you currently are. Even if the wound came from others, the healing is yours. The society we live in benefits from your passivity. It needs you dependent, insecure, obedient, numbed, waiting for solutions, waiting for permission. And you have waited long enough. This is the moment to break free from emotional, spiritual, and existential dependence. No knock at the door will come. No perfect sign. No instruction manual. What you do have is this growing restlessness. This inner voice urging, pushing, disturbing, calling you to act, telling you, evolve or slowly die. Everything you need to begin the crossing already exists within you. But as long as you outsource your freedom to others, you will remain stuck. As long as you wait for someone to approve your decision to quit the job, end the relationship, or start over, you will keep living someone else's life. The ego will whisper that it's impossible, unsafe, premature. Because the ego is a coward. It only wants survival. But your soul wants to live. Taking responsibility for your life is the beginning of true adulthood. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim and begin rebuilding yourself in silence, with no applause, no certainty, but with dignity. And then the inevitable question arises: what lies beyond the fear? What exists when you accept that no one is coming and the leap is entirely yours? Jung's answer is clear. Real life. The life you are meant to live, but postponed for too long. And that is what we explore next. What waits on the other side of fear and why your real life begins exactly where you panic the most. There is an invisible boundary separating your current life from the life you're meant to live. It isn't made of money, circumstances, or other people. It is made of fear. Fear of change, fear of disappointing others, fear of failure, fear of leaving the cave of familiarity, fear of walking into the unknown alone. But on the other side of that fear, your real life begins. Jung teaches that fear is not the enemy. It is the guardian of the threshold. Every time you feel fear, it means you're standing exactly where you need to be. You don't need perfect readiness. You only need to stop pretending, stop lying to yourself, and be brave enough to say, I don't know what comes next, but I can't stay here. This is the moment where most turn back. Because the leap is terrifying. It means losing your footing. It means no guarantee, no map. It means dropping the persona that once protected you, but now confines you. It means rejecting the outer shoulds and embracing the inner must. This is the moment Jung compared to facing the inner dragon, the embodiment of fear, doubt, and resistance. And that fear is actually your sign to move forward, because beyond it lies your true life, not survival, not performance, but authenticity, presence, and meaning. Here, you become who you were meant to be, not who the world trained you to be. Remember, no one is coming for you. No one from the outside will save you. This journey is yours alone. Your freedom, your life, your responsibility, everything you need is already within you. Fear, insecurity, uncertainty, these are not barriers. They are part of the path. Moving through them, listening to your soul, is what leads you into real life. This is the final lesson. Fear is not the enemy. It is the guardian of the gate. Your pain and restlessness are signs that you're ready. And real life begins exactly where your deepest fear lives. No one can walk this path for you. It is your inner journey. Now is the time to take responsibility for your life. It is your path, your freedom, your true self calling you home.